Hey guys, welcome back to the Crafty Author. So I'm doing a little bit of late night sewing here and trying to catch up on our scrap quilts. So this is the second part of that, so episode 2 or series 2. So what I have gone and done is I've gone ahead and made very scrappy blocks with my scraps that I had left over. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them into rows. So just so you know, what I have done is I have made 4 per row. So you should have 16 10.5-inch squares. And you're going to want to sew them together. So that's what we're going to do right now, is we're going to sew these together, and then we will talk about what will be next. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started, and I'm not going to talk much because I just want to get this sewn together and press it out and move along so that we can start getting to the good stuff. So you want to make sure that your blocks are lined up evenly, which mine are not right at the moment. And you can pop a pin in here if you want to hold them together, which is not necessarily a bad idea. I'm not going to do that. I've got them straight, and I'm just going to sew them together. You want to put the nice sides together. And it only gives me fits when I'm doing a video. Okay, and we have our first 2 pieces sewn together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finger press this towards that seam that is going that way. You can press it whichever way you would like to do it, because we are not currently concerned with going to the light or the dark side, because this is just such a hodgepodge. It wouldn't even make sense. So I'm going to take my third one and I'm going to attach it. The third block I'm attaching to our longer strip. You could sew the two and two and then attach them that way, but this isn't tough, so I'm just going to go ahead and just do it this way. Got our third one on. Now we're going to put the fourth one on. Now, you're going to probably want to take it a little easy because the seams on the back might tend to flip, because we have quite a few seams going on here, so just be aware of that. So we've got our row sewn together. Just finger pressing that way. That's a pretty thick seam, I can feel it. And I'm going to take this over now, and I'm just going to go ahead and give this a good press. And then I'll come back and show you what to do next. You're looking at this quilt upside down, but it's going to be okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to attach the rows. And it's very simple. It's just like when you attach the blocks, only you're going to be working with a longer strip. So we have this strip, which is the one I just finished pressing. Okay, so we've got this strip. And we also have this strip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the two strips together. And you don't, we might line up seams. I'm not sure here. Okay. So yes, we're going to line the seams up. And you're going to want to make sure that they're good and even. Let me move these other two out of the way. You're going to do the same for all pieces of this, okay? And so you're going to line these up, and I am going to grab my pins, and I'm going to show you how I do this. All right. So I want to make sure that both my sides are lined up and even, and so I always do this when I'm making a quilt. I will either pin it or clip it. If it's heavy, I'll clip it. If it's thin, I'll just pin it. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pinning, and I want to match up these seams. It's not going to matter if they don't line up, because everything in your scrap quilt is real scrappy, okay? So you don't, it's not imperative to make sure that they match up, but it will make it easier for sewing purposes. Now see, like I have some seams that are not going to nest together, and that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and pop some pins in here. And where I can nest them, I will. No, it doesn't want to stay together. All right. That might be why it wasn't laying right. I was getting real nervous. Okay, so you just want to work with this and make sure that it's gonna, that you've got it right, that it's straight, you're not off somewhere. Like I'm kind of off right there because I have too much on the top and not enough at the bottom. You can just use your fingers to kind of pull it down if you need to. This one wants to give me headaches. But I'm not gonna let it. All right. So this, like I said, this one's a little bit off. Now I got it. So I'm just putting pins in here just to hold this together so that when I go to sew it, it will stay together. Then I'm going to pop a pin on this side to hold this side even. Just right here. Okay. All right, now we're going to take it to the sewing machine and we're going to just start sewing. I'm at the sewing machine and I'm just going to sew 1/4 of an inch on the edge that we pinned. All right. So I'm just going to get my needle down. I'm going to back stitch on this one. You don't have to, but I'm just going to do it just for the sake of doing it. Take your pins out. You can leave them in and sew very slowly over them, but you really do risk breaking a needle and By golly, that will scare the bejesus out of you. Just pull that out. And I'm just going kind of slow because, like I said, we have a lot of these little seams back here and you need to catch them. Okay? You don't want those going crazy. Oh, almost sewed over the pin. It would have been fine. And when I'm sewing the 1/4 of an inch, I am using a 1/4 of an inch foot, and I'm using that edge to guide me along the edge of my fabric. That really does help to have that foot. If you don't have a 1/4 of an inch foot, there's markings on your sewing machine that you can use, or you can put tape on there, and that can help you as well. All right, so now we're coming to the end here, and I'm just going to back stitch a little bit, and now we're done. All right, now we're ready to pull out these pins that we put in the sides to keep it even, because I don't want to stab myself. And I'm just going to give this a press open with my fingers. Okay, I'm just giving it a little quick press. I'm going to take it over to the iron and press this out so that it will lay nice and flat, but this is what we have. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go ahead and complete your rows, just like I showed you doing this. Sew the other two pieces together, the other 2 rows, and then you're going to attach them to this row, just like we did, just like you would do, like we did this one. Okay, so it's really easy to do. If you have questions, please leave your questions or comments down in the comment section of the video. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Crafty Author. I have a blog where you can follow me, craftyauthor.com, and you can always ask me questions there as well. And I thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get this finished up so we can move on to the next step, and keep on crafting. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.